What if I told you that one of the most powerful medicinal spices in the world is probably already sitting in your kitchen drawer, completely ignored? 2 tiny cloves a day, just 2. That's all it takes to trigger a powerful ripple effect through your bloodstream, your gut, your joints, even your brain. But here's the shocking part. Most people over 60 never feel the benefits. Why? Because they're either using it the wrong way, or they've been quietly steered away from it altogether. By age 65, over 75% of adults already have measurable low-grade inflammation, even if they feel healthy. That's the silent force behind joint pain, memory loss, stubborn weight, and digestive slowdowns. And here's what big food and pharmaceutical companies don't want you to know. According to a 2023 clinical study in the Journal of Medicinal Food, just one daily dose of cloves lowered key inflammation markers in seniors by over 36% in just 1 week. That's not a supplement. That's not a drug. That's a spice you probably already have. But here's the real danger. There's one huge mistake nearly everyone makes when adding cloves to their routine. And if you make this mistake, the kind that sounds harmless, like boiling them in tea or chewing them dry on an empty stomach, you could be missing out on 90% of the benefit. Worse, you might actually irritate your stomach lining or block absorption altogether. The good news? There's a simple fix, but we'll reveal it after day 7, in what we call day 0, the setup that makes it all work. In this video, we'll reveal exactly what happens in your body from day 1 to day 7 when you eat just 2 cloves daily, and how to do it properly so you actually feel the benefits. Before we begin, tell us in the comments, how old are you, and where are you watching from? We read and reply to every single one. Now let's start with day 1, and the very first shift you might feel just 24 hours in. Day 1. Your blood vessels start to open and your brain wakes up. The first noticeable shift often catches people off guard. It's not dramatic, but it's real. By the next morning, many people report that they wake up a little clearer, not sharp as a razor, but less foggy. The kind of clarity where your thoughts don't drag behind your movements. You might feel slightly more present while making your morning tea or reading the paper. This is not a placebo. It's your body beginning to respond to cloves' vascular effects. Cloves are rich in a compound called eugenol, which is a natural phenol that has both antioxidant and mild vasodilating properties. That means it helps blood vessels relax slightly, allowing better blood flow. In practical terms, this means more oxygen and nutrients get to your brain and extremities, especially in the early hours when circulation is often sluggish in older adults. In a 2021 study published in Phytotherapy Research, 68 older adults were given clove extract daily for 14 days. Researchers tracked blood plasma antioxidant levels and reported a 17% increase in overall oxidative stress defense by day 3. Subjects also reported improvements in early morning alertness, particularly those over 65. To enhance this effect, take your 2 lightly crushed cloves about 30 to 45 minutes after breakfast, not before. If taken on an empty stomach, the volatile oils can irritate your gut and reduce absorption. Eating first helps buffer the compounds and allows for slower, steadier uptake. If you prefer chewing over steeping, make sure to rinse your mouth after. Eugenol can erode enamel over time if left on the teeth. Do not boil the cloves. This is a surprisingly common mistake. High heat breaks down eugenol and other phenolic oils rapidly. Instead, if you're making tea, steep them gently in hot, not boiling, water for around 10 minutes. That retains the active compounds while making them easier to digest. Meet Leela, 72. She started this process just last year. She tracked her morning mental sharpness on a scale from 1 to 10. After her first clove infusion, her mental start time, as she called it, dropped from 30 minutes to under 15 by day 2. She didn't feel superhuman, just slightly more in gear. If you feel nothing yet, don't worry. Not everyone responds the same way in the first 24 hours. But something is already beginning, deep in the cellular cleanup process that will become more obvious by day 3. Day 2. Your gut begins resetting and the bloat starts dropping. By day 2, many people notice something subtle but deeply encouraging. Their digestion feels steadier. That late morning discomfort, the dull bloating after lunch, or that strange gurgling that used to start around 3 p.m., it's noticeably reduced. This is not magic. This is chemistry. Cloves are a potent antimicrobial agent, especially against common gut disruptors like E. coli and H. pylori. Eugenol helps rebalance your gut microbiome, which is the internal ecosystem of bacteria in your intestines that affects everything from digestion to immunity to inflammation. In a 2020 study in the Journal of Functional Foods, researchers gave participants with mild gastrointestinal distress a daily dose of clove oil diluted in water. After just 2 days, stool consistency improved in 63% of participants, and reported bloating scores dropped by an average of 28%. Although the study used an extract, the whole clove form, when crushed and steeped, still delivers significant amounts of these beneficial compounds. If your gut has been sluggish, sensitive, or erratic, 2 cloves a day may begin resetting the rhythm. That's why day 2 is often when people say they feel lighter in the belly, not dramatically, but noticeably. It's as if things are moving more the way they're supposed to. To support this effect, make sure you're drinking enough water throughout the day. The compounds in cloves that support digestion, including flavonoids and tannins, work best when your digestive tract is well hydrated. Aim for a glass of water with each meal and sip your clove tea warm to aid this effect. A common mistake here is combining cloves with high-fat or fried foods. While cloves aid digestion, they're not a license to go heavy. In fact, pairing them with overly greasy meals can slow their action. For best results, try pairing your clove intake with a fiber-rich breakfast. Oatmeal with berries, for example, which encourages gut motility and synergy between your spice and your food. Meet Charles, 69, who had been dealing with irregular stools for nearly a year. On day 2 of his clove routine, after steeping them in warm water post-breakfast, he reported a complete bowel movement before noon, without the usual bloating or gas. He marked it as the first time in months I didn't feel like my stomach was holding me hostage. If you've reached day 2 and already noticed digestive calm, you're ahead of the curve. If not yet, good. That means your body is still adjusting. And what's coming on day 3 will likely surprise you. Before we continue, if you have been enjoying the video so far, hit that like button so more seniors can see it, share it with someone you love, and subscribe to our channel so you never miss a video that could protect your health. Day 3. Inflammation eases and blood pressure reactivity calms. By day 3, the shift begins to show in your joints and circulation. It may start subtly, less tension in your fingers when tying your shoes, or a quiet surprise when getting out of a chair and realizing it didn't feel like a struggle. That lingering edge of tightness around the knees or lower back? It may not be gone, but it's slightly less loud. This is the anti-inflammatory power of cloves beginning to express itself, especially in older adults where chronic, low-grade inflammation is often silently driving stiffness and discomfort. Eugenol, the core compound in cloves, works in part by inhibiting COX enzymes, which are the same inflammation-producing enzymes that over-the-counter pain relievers like ibuprofen target. But unlike pharmaceuticals, cloves don't just block inflammation signals. They also carry antioxidants which help neutralize the free radicals that fuel inflammation at the cellular level. In a 2021 randomized controlled trial published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology, researchers tested the effects of clove extract on 72 adults aged 60 and older who had elevated C-reactive protein, CRP, which is a key marker of systemic inflammation. After 7 days of daily intake, CRP levels dropped by an average of 16%. But here's the interesting part. Over 40% of that drop occurred within the first 3 days, particularly among participants with joint discomfort. You can support this shift today by staying lightly active. A short walk after meals, even just 5 minutes, helps carry the active compounds from cloves into your joints and muscles where they're needed most. It also helps smooth out blood pressure swings, which are another day 3 benefit. Many people notice their blood pressure feels more stable. Fewer lightheaded moments when standing up quickly, or fewer flushes after a salty meal. This is due to mild vasodilation, which means your blood vessels relax slightly. It's not enough to cause dizziness in most people. But if you're already on blood pressure meds, check in with your doctor to monitor for additive effects. One mistake people often make on day 3 is increasing the dose too early. They feel the benefit and think, maybe 4 cloves is better than 2. It's not. In fact, too much eugenol can irritate your gut or liver enzymes. Stick to 2 whole cloves, crushed and steeped gently. No keep boiling, no swallowing whole. If you're feeling the same easing in pressure or joint tension today, stay steady. You're entering the body's repair zone. And tomorrow, it gets even deeper. Day 4, digestion stabilizes and you sleep more deeply. Day 4 is often when things begin to settle, in a good way. Digestion feels quieter. That unpredictable fullness after dinner, it fades. You may notice that your bathroom schedule becomes more regular, not forced, not urgent, just consistent. For many older adults, this rhythm is a game changer. Constipation, bloating, and slow motility are often treated with fiber alone. But cloves are tackling the root causes: microbial imbalance and poor bile flow. Cloves stimulate the production of gastric enzymes and bile, which are crucial for breaking down fats and proteins efficiently. This means less residue sitting in your gut, fermenting and causing gas. And because clove is mildly carminative, meaning it reduces gas formation, the bubble and blub cycle starts to fade. In a 2022 pilot study in the World Journal of Gastrointestinal Pharmacology and Therapeutics, adults over 60 with mild glycemic index discomfort took clove extract daily. By day 4, 71% reported more predictable bowel movements and improved stool quality, with the majority also reporting better post-meal comfort. But here's the most surprising shift on day 4: better sleep onset. Many people say they fall asleep faster. Not a sedative effect, more of a calm readiness to rest. This comes from 2 angles. First, cloves help reduce oxidative stress in the nervous system. Second, eugenol has mild GABA modulating effects, which means it can help calm the nervous system in the evening without causing drowsiness during the day. If you're tracking your sleep, notice how long it takes to fall asleep tonight. People who used to take 45 minutes report drifting off in under 20. It's not dramatic, but it feels natural. You're not being sedated. Your nervous system is simply quieter. Your body is doing something rare right now. It's not just reducing symptoms, it's restoring balance. If you've made it to day 4, you're over the hump. What comes next is strength, clarity, and function. Day 5. Mobility improves and blood sugar spikes drop. Day 5 is when your body starts giving you something tangible back, not just relief, but capability. Today, you may notice that climbing stairs feels easier. Your grip might be a touch stronger when opening a jar or turning a doorknob. That stiffness that used to live in your knuckles or knees in the morning. It's not gone, but it doesn't resist you in the same way. This is the beginning of mobility gains. And it's not just your imagination. Behind the scenes, 2 processes are working together: lowered inflammation and improved blood sugar control. And both have a direct impact on joint function. Let's start with inflammation. As we've seen in earlier days, cloves eugenol reduces COX activity, but by day 5, cumulative exposure begins to dial down inflammatory cytokines, especially interleukin-6, which is associated with age-related joint degeneration. Less interleukin-6 means less joint fluid thickening and tissue swelling. This makes daily movements, especially fine motor control, noticeably smoother. But what's equally powerful today is what's happening after meals. Clove compounds help inhibit alpha-glucosidase, which is an enzyme that breaks down carbohydrates into glucose. By slowing this process, cloves help reduce sharp spikes in blood sugar after eating, a common cause of post-meal fatigue, inflammation, and even joint pain. In a 2023 study published in the Journal of Clinical Metabolism, researchers tested 2 grams of crushed clove daily in older adults with prediabetes. After just 5 days, post-meal glucose levels dropped by 19% on average. Participants also reported less heaviness in the limbs and fewer energy crashes after lunch. If you've been dealing with that slump between 1 and 3 p.m., today might be the first day you don't feel it. That's a powerful signal that your metabolic response is shifting. And it's not just glucose levels that benefit. Lower post-meal spikes mean fewer inflammatory flare-ups, which helps the joints stay calm and mobile throughout the day. Day 6, your brain snaps into focus and mornings feel lighter. On day 6, a new benefit tends to emerge, and this one often surprises people the most. Your mind sharpens. The fog that lingered in the morning hours, especially before caffeine, lifts a little faster. You may find yourself processing information with more ease. You catch the details in conversations, recall names more easily, and navigate your daily routine without that slight mental drag that's become so common past age 60. This is where cloves begin to flex their nootropic potential. Eugenol crosses the blood-brain barrier, which is a protective filter around the brain, and acts as a mild neuroprotective agent. It reduces oxidative damage to brain tissue, particularly in the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory formation and spatial orientation. Cloves also stimulate circulation in small cerebral vessels, allowing for better nutrient and oxygen delivery to the brain. Combined with better glucose regulation, this sets the stage for a clearer, calmer mind. You're not just more alert, you're more stable. In a 2022 clinical trial from the Neurobiology of Aging journal, 45 older adults were given eugenol-rich spice extract daily for 7 days. The researchers measured reaction times, working memory, and verbal recall. By day 6, test scores in the clove group improved by 12 to 18% compared to baseline, with the most significant gains in morning cognitive tasks. This might translate, for you, into something simple but profound: reading the newspaper with full comprehension, remembering where you put your keys, feeling like your mind catches up to your day faster. Robert, 73, used to feel mentally slow until about 11 a.m. After 6 days of using clove tea properly, steeped, post-breakfast, no extra caffeine, he reported feeling ready to engage by 8:30 a.m., something he hadn't experienced in over a decade. He started writing again, a journal he thought he'd abandoned years ago. Day 6 is often when people start to believe, this isn't just a spice. This is an agent of restoration. Day 7. Beginning of sustainable change. You've made it to day 7. And by now, if you've followed the method closely, not skipping doses, not chewing them raw on an empty stomach, not boiling the compounds out, then your body is likely giving you real proof, not just in how you feel, but in how you function. This is the day when many people realize something's different. You're not dragging in the morning. You're not tensing up before going up a staircase. You're not bloating after every meal or waking 3 times a night. Your brain isn't scrambling to catch up before you've even had your first coffee. You've built momentum. Cloves benefits don't max out in 1 week, but after 7 days, the core systems they influence have begun to shift. Inflammation pathways have calmed, microbial balance has improved, digestion is more efficient, circulation has become more responsive, and cognitive processing is sharper and more stable. This is what we call the consolidation phase. Your cells are now using the eugenol, flavonoids, and tannins from cloves in real metabolic pathways, not just as passive nutrients, but as active agents of repair. In a 2022 study published in Frontiers in Nutrition, older adults who consumed clove extract daily for 7 days saw a statistically significant improvement in both joint mobility and sleep quality, particularly in those over 65. The majority also showed lowered fasting glucose and triglyceride levels, markers tied not just to metabolic health, but long-term aging resilience. But this is also where you need to pause and assess. The clove is not a miracle cure. It's a tool, one that works best when cycled, tracked, and paired with smart lifestyle habits. But before we reveal how to do that, let's circle back to the warning we gave you in the beginning, the one mistake almost everyone makes. Day 0. The method that makes it work. This is what makes or breaks the entire process. And now that you've felt the effects, it's time to lock it in or lose it. The mistake: consuming cloves in the wrong form, at the wrong time, or in the wrong preparation. Here's how to do it correctly so that your body actually absorbs and uses what you're giving it. Start with whole cloves, not pre-ground. You want them dark, shiny, and plump, not dusty or brittle. To test freshness, drop one in water. If it stands upright, it's fresh. If it sinks or floats sideways, it's stale. Store them in an airtight jar in a cool, dark place. Next, lightly crush the cloves before use. Don't pulverize, just crack them open with the back of a spoon. This releases the eugenol oils without destroying them. Then, steep them. Don't boil. Pour hot, not boiling, water over the crushed cloves and let them sit for 8 to 10 minutes. Drink warm. You can add a cinnamon stick or a slice of ginger, but no sugar, no lemon, no dairy. All of those interfere with absorption. Take this tea after your first meal of the day. Why? Eugenol can irritate the gut if taken on an empty stomach. Food helps buffer it, improves digestion, and slows release. If you prefer chewing the cloves, do so only after eating and rinse your mouth afterward to protect your enamel. The dose: stick to 2 whole cloves daily. Frail individuals, those on blood thinners, diabetes meds, or with gastrointestinal sensitivities should start with 1. And always talk to a healthcare provider before introducing a new daily herb. This is general guidance, not medical advice. What to do after day 7? You now have proof in your own body that something real has happened. So what next? If you've seen clear improvements like reduced joint stiffness, smoother digestion, better sleep, or steadier energy, you can continue taking cloves daily for another week. But after 14 days, shift to 3 to 4 days per week to maintain benefits without overexposing your system. If you noticed only minor changes, don't double the dose. Instead, cycle off for 3 to 5 days, then reintroduce it. Sometimes your microbiome needs that pause to recalibrate. If you experienced irritation, nausea, or unusual symptoms, stop. Reassess with a healthcare provider. Not all bodies respond the same way. Cloves are potent, and that means they must be respected. Now, for those of you ready to level up, here are 3 powerful pairings to combine with your cloves for amplified benefits. Number 1. Pair with a vitamin C source, like orange slices or kiwi at breakfast. Vitamin C enhances the antioxidant activity of eugenol and helps protect collagen in joints. Number 2. Combine with omega-3 fats, like chia seeds, walnuts, or sardines. These boost cloves' anti-inflammatory effects and support joint repair. Number 3. Take a 5-minute walk post-meal on clove days. This activates digestion, reduces glucose spikes, and amplifies metabolic regulation. If you try this, log your day 1 to day 7 changes in details the comments below. We're reading and replying to every single one, because your story might help someone else finally take control of their body again. At the end, the truth is, no supplement, no drug, no herb will do the work for you. But when you give your body the right signal, consistently, gently, and wisely, it remembers how to heal. 2 cloves a day, 7 days of trust, a lifetime of possible change. This isn't hype. This is human chemistry, and your biology just proved it. Now, we want to hear from you. Have you ever tried using cloves for your health before? What changes did you notice? Or what are you hoping to fix first? Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. Thanks for watching.